it's Abby Lauren. Welcome back to my podcast. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about the Grade 12 English course and To Kill a Mockingbird. Let's begin with the first thing that we learned in the Grade 12 English course, which happened to be literary theories. New historian theory is employed in To Kill a Mockingbird when discussing the plot and setting, when African Americans were treated unfairly and prejudice was a big problem. The next topic we're going to get into is poetic devices. Now, there are many poetic devices throughout the novel of To Kill a Mockingbird, but I picked two that I thought were the most important: alliteration and imagery. Here is an example of imagery in To Kill a Mockingbird. Maycomb was an old town, but it was a tired old town. When I first knew it, in rainy weather, the streets turned to red slop. Grass grew on the sidewalks. The courthouse sagged in the square. This quote is a great example of imagery because Harper Lee uses a lot of descriptive words and describes the town very well. Next, I have an example of alliteration. Being Southerners, it was a source of shame to some members of the family that we had no recorded ancestors to either side of the Battle of Hastings. The repetition used here helps the readers take note and remember these aspects of the Finch family. Now, following poetic devices, we are going to talk about literary devices. Basically, every literary device you've ever heard of is in To Kill a Mockingbird because it's an extremely well-written book, but the three that I chose to speak about is symbolism, foreshadowing, and metaphor. Symbolism. The mockingbird is a big symbol in this story, and it symbolizes purity and innocence. I believe the mockingbird symbol relates a lot to the character of Scout because in the beginning of the novel she is very pure and innocent, but by the end she begins to lose her innocence after seeing how evil the world really is. Next we have foreshadowing. Atticus shooting the mad dog at gunpoint foreshadows multiple things in the novel. 1. The fear the dog has on the neighborhood foreshadows the fear many people feel around Tom and other African Americans in this time. It also foreshadows Tom's fate in the trials. Another foreshadowing would be when Scout and Jem find gifts left for them in the tree hole. They're excited but wary of the gifts. This foreshadows Scout and Boo Radley's relationship, how something initially frightening can turn out to be good. The last literary device I'm going to touch on is metaphor. Like symbolism, I'm going to use the mockingbird. The mockingbird is a metaphor for someone who makes you enjoy things and brings a lot of happiness to your life. And lastly, we're going to look at themes related from To Kill a Mockingbird to the wars. The theme both To Kill a Mockingbird and the wars have is the idea of justice. And in To Kill a Mockingbird, the theme is more injustice because Tom, doesn't get the justice that he deserves because when he's wrongfully convicted. But in the wars, it is true justice. Another big theme in both of these novels is loss of innocence. In the wars, Robert Ross loses his innocence from being in the war and just experiencing all those things. And then in To Kill a Mockingbird, it's Scout and many other characters, but I focus mainly on Scout. She loses her innocence when she realizes that evil exists in the world through prejudice and discrimination and all these sorts of things. And that will conclude today's episode on the Grade 12 English course and To Kill a Mockingbird. I hope you enjoyed this episode and hearing all about my favorite book, To Kill a Mockingbird, and how it relates to the course. Thank you.